Have you ever wondered, who was the very last person to see Yu Menglong alive? Was it a close friend, a colleague, or someone completely unexpected? What if I told you that the answer to this question could flip everything we thought we knew about his final hours upside down? And here's something even more chilling: rumors suggest that the last person wasn't just a casual witness, but someone who might hold the darkest secret of all. Could this mystery figure be hiding the truth from the world? Stick around, because later in this video, I'll reveal a shocking theory that will leave you speechless. In today's video, we're diving straight into the heart of this mystery. Fans all over the internet are desperately asking the same question: who exactly was the last person to see Yu Menglong alive? If you stay with me until the end, you'll not only hear every detail of what happened that night but also discover the whispers, the theories, and the mind-blowing clues that have people pointing fingers in directions no one expected. By the end, you'll have the full picture, and trust me, you'll be questioning everything you thought you knew about Yu Menglong's final night. The story begins with a simple yet haunting fact: Yu Menglong was seen smiling, laughing, and full of life at a late-night gathering just hours before tragedy struck. Fans recall photos and blurry videos surfacing online, capturing him in his element. He was surrounded by friends, colleagues, and people from the entertainment industry. But here's where things get strange. After that party, accounts of his whereabouts grow hazy, contradictory, and filled with gaps that make the truth even more slippery. That's why fans are laser-focused on one question: who walked out with him? Who shared those last moments? Eyewitnesses claim Yu Menglong was spotted leaving the venue with a small group. Some say it was just two close industry friends, others whisper it was a mysterious woman who had been sitting quietly in the corner all evening. But the most popular rumor? That there was one particular figure, someone both familiar and surprising, seen walking just a few steps behind him, almost like a shadow. Fans immediately began dissecting video clips, zooming into pixelated frames, and arguing endlessly in online forums. Was it his manager? A fellow actor? Or someone he didn't want the public to know about? The tension exploded on social media when one blurry screenshot allegedly showed Yu Menglong speaking to a man in a dark coat. The man's face was turned away from the camera, but his posture, his presence, and the way Yu Menglong leaned toward him sparked endless debates. Could this man be the last person to ever look Yu Menglong in the eye? Fans began asking for names, demanding answers, and piecing together timelines that stretched deep into the early morning hours. Now, imagine the scene: the night air thick with neon lights, laughter echoing from the party still in the background, Yu Menglong stepping out, the world unaware that these steps would be his last. A car engine revs nearby, headlights flash, and then silence. That chilling silence is where the mystery begins. Who stayed behind with him? Who followed him out into the night? And why has no one stepped forward to claim that moment? But here's where it gets even stranger. Multiple fans claim they saw Yu Menglong get into a black car, but no one can confirm whose car it was. Was it arranged by his team? Was it a ride home with a trusted friend? Or was it something else entirely? That unanswered detail has become the cornerstone of speculation. Because if we can figure out whose car he entered, we can unlock the identity of the last person who saw him alive. And here's a theory that's blowing minds online. Some believe that the last person wasn't just someone random, it was someone Yu Menglong had been secretly meeting in private for weeks. Fans have dug up photos of him appearing in unusual places, meeting individuals who weren't part of his usual circle. Were these coincidences, or was he entangled in something deeper that no one saw coming? Imagine the weight of this question. If the last person was a stranger, it's tragic but explainable. But if the last person was someone close, someone trusted, then everything changes. Because then it's not just about chance, it's about betrayal, silence, and secrets. The fan theories get even darker. Some argue that the last person has been silent for a reason: they know something the world isn't ready to hear. Others believe this silence is part of a bigger cover-up. And here's the bombshell: a shocking thread on Weibo claims that surveillance footage from that night, footage that could answer all these questions, mysteriously disappeared before investigators could secure it. If true, who made it vanish? And why? Pause for a moment and let that sink in. Surveillance footage gone. The last person unidentified. Fans begging for names. Doesn't it feel like someone doesn't want us to connect the dots? Think about the psychology here. If you were the last person to see a global star alive, wouldn't you step forward immediately? Wouldn't you want to clear your name, share your side of the story, or at the very least, bring closure to millions of grieving fans? But instead, we get silence. A silence that's almost too loud to ignore. Now here's where the theory gets absolutely wild, and this is the part one promised you earlier. Some believe that the last person wasn't just hiding their identity for protection, but because they were instructed to stay silent. A higher power. A bigger player. A force that has the influence to wipe surveillance footage, keep people quiet, and leave fans chasing shadows. Could it be possible that Yu Menglong's final hours weren't just a coincidence, but a carefully orchestrated sequence of events? Imagine the implications of this. If someone powerful was indeed involved, then the identity of the last person to see him alive becomes more than a detail. It becomes the key to an entire puzzle of influence, control, and maybe even danger. That's why fans aren't letting go of the question. That's why hashtags demanding answers keep trending. Because everyone knows that the truth is buried somewhere in that night. Now, let's go back to the heart of the story, the fans. Their persistence, their questions, their relentless digging has kept this mystery alive. They've recreated timelines, matched outfits from blurry photos, compared watch designs, even analyzed shadows in grainy clips to figure out who stood next to Yu Menglong. It's almost like a massive community-driven investigation, with one goal: to find the last person who saw him. And honestly, isn't it chilling that after all this effort, no official answer has come forward? Instead, we're left with fragments. A laugh. A wave. A shadow slipping into the night. And the more we look, the more we realize those fragments might be all we ever get. Unless, of course, the last person decides to speak. But here's where I turn it over to you. What do you think? Do you believe the last person was a close friend who's simply too scared to step into the spotlight? Or do you think this mystery figure was part of something far more complex, something intentionally hidden from the public eye? One thing's for sure, fans won't stop asking. They won't stop demanding the truth. And neither will we. Because the question who was the last person to see Yu Menglong alive isn't just about curiosity, it's about closure, justice, and uncovering the story that someone out there desperately wants to keep in the dark. So as this story unfolds, keep your eyes on the details, the whispers, the unanswered questions. Because somewhere in those shadows lies the truth. And the truth, no matter how well hidden, always finds its way out. The question continues to echo across the internet like a haunting refrain: who was the last person to see Yu Menglong alive? What makes this question so powerful is that it doesn't just feel like a mystery, it feels like the missing piece of a puzzle that could finally explain everything about that tragic night. Fans aren't just curious, they're desperate, determined, and even emotional, because they know that if they can identify this person, they'll be closer to understanding what really happened behind the shadows. Picture it again. The late-night cityscape glowing with neon, music still bleeding faintly from the party as Yu Menglong steps into the cool night air. He looks carefree, maybe even relieved, as if leaving the noisy celebration gave him a moment of peace. The camera flashes stop, the laughter dies down, and only a few silhouettes remain. Fans imagine it like a movie scene: Yu Menglong, adjusting his jacket, walking toward the waiting street, unaware that these were his final recorded moments. But here's the question that burns like fire: whose silhouette walked beside him? Some claim they saw him with a trusted colleague, someone he often leaned on during stressful times in the entertainment industry. Others insist it wasn't a friend at all, but a mysterious woman in black who barely spoke all night, yet somehow left with him. A few even go further, whispering about a man in a dark coat, his face hidden, his body language tense, following Yu Menglong as if he was guarding him, or maybe cornering him. The conflicting stories only make things more intense. Fans rewatch shaky clips, frame by frame, analyzing background figures like detectives in their living rooms. One viral post even circled a blurry arm reaching toward Yu Menglong's shoulder as he left the venue. Was it a friendly gesture? A warning? Or could it have been the very last touch before everything went silent? The scenes fans paint in their minds are so vivid it's almost chilling. Imagine a quiet streetlight flickering overhead, the sound of a car door creaking open, Yu Menglong glancing back one last time. Did he smile? Did he sense something was wrong? Did he trust the person standing with him, or was it a moment filled with hesitation? The tragedy of it all is that we may never know, unless that person comes forward. And that's the real twist, isn't it? Silence. Deafening silence. Whoever this last person was, they've never stepped into the spotlight, never spoken to the media, never claimed to be there. Fans can't help but wonder why. If you had been the last to see a beloved star alive, wouldn't you speak out? Wouldn't you want to share your memories, to honor him, or to clear away the storm of confusion? So why, then, is this person's identity locked in shadows? Some theories say it's fear of being blamed, fear of being misunderstood, fear of being dragged into a storm too big to survive. Others say it's control, someone higher up doesn't want that person talking, doesn't want the narrative shifting, doesn't want the truth to escape. And then there's the darkest theory of all. What if this person is silent because they know more than they should? That's why fans aren't just asking, they're demanding. Every hashtag, every trending topic, every viral post circles back to that one haunting mystery. Give us the name, they write. Tell us who it was. Some say it's the key to closure. Others say it's the key to justice. But all agree it's the missing detail that makes everything else make sense. And think about this. In stories of loss and mystery, the last person often carries the heaviest burden. They hold the memory of the last words, the last smile, the last moment of connection. That's why fans feel like they deserve to know. Because whoever it was, they weren't just an observer, they were part of Yu Menglong's final chapter, whether they realize it or not. Now imagine if, one day, that person finally stepped forward. Imagine the weight of their story, the sound of Yu Menglong's voice in those final minutes, the way his face looked under the streetlights, the last thing he said before the night swallowed him. That revelation alone would send shockwaves across the world, not just because it would answer the mystery, but because it would humanize those final moments in a way no rumor or blurry clip ever could. Fans cling to this hope. They hold on to the idea that maybe, just maybe, the silence will break. Until then, the speculation builds. Online communities reconstruct timelines, create theories, even write their own versions of what might have happened. Some depict Yu Menglong stepping into a car with a trusted friend, sharing a laugh before the door shut. Others imagine him exchanging tense words with someone he didn't expect to see, their conversation cut short by the tragedy that followed. No matter which theory you believe, one thing is undeniable: the mystery of the last person to see Yu Menglong alive has become more than just a detail. It's become a symbol of unanswered questions, of hidden truths, of the fragile line between what we know and what we're never meant to find out. And maybe that's why the story feels so gripping, so unforgettable. Because at its core, it's not just about Yu Menglong's death, it's about the human need for closure. The need to know who stood there in those final moments, who shared that last breath of life with him, who witnessed the end of a journey that millions had followed for years. The truth is, we may not get the answer today. We may not even get it tomorrow. But the fact that fans keep asking means that the mystery won't fade. It means that Yu Menglong's story, his final night, his final steps, will continue to live on in the voices of those who refuse to let silence be the final word. And so, the question lingers, louder than ever: who was the last person to see Yu Menglong alive? If this story pulled you in as much as it did me, then don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's keep this conversation alive together. And now, I want to hear from you. What do you think? Was it a trusted friend, a mysterious stranger, or someone far more powerful than we've been led to believe? Drop your theories in the comments below. Your thoughts could be the spark that uncovers the truth.